my name is Angel. Welcome back to my channel. If you didn't know, I am hosting a readathon in October. It is called Ominous October, and it's going from October 11th through October 17th, which means it's starting today. One of the prompts for this readathon is to read a book that is set on or around Halloween. So I thought I would help you guys out. I have compiled a whole list of recommendations. Some of them I've never even heard of, and we're going to learn the synopsis today together. Actually, I think that's for most of them. But let me start with the recommendations of the books that I personally will be reading in October. So starting with two that I have already read. First one is Kill Creek by Scott Thomas. This whole book does not take place around October, but for one of the big plot points, we are seeing these characters on Halloween night. So this is about a group of authors that get the opportunity to go to Kill Creek, which is this notorious, isolated, haunted farmhouse. While they're there, a few strange things happen, but the horror and the haunting doesn't really pick up until these people return to their normal lives. I'm not going to say too much more than that, but I enjoyed this one. I give it 4 stars, and I would definitely recommend. And it does count because it does take place, at least for part of the story, on Halloween night. The next one is Halloween Fiend by C.B. Hunt. This is a great one because it's short. So if you need a good novella, I would definitely recommend this one. This is about a small town called Strang, and it is just kind of a normal thing in this small town that there's this creature that lives there that they have named Halloween. It comes out every night for a treat, which is typically a small animal that is sacrificed by these residents. And then every year on Halloween itself, there is a larger sacrifice that takes place. So we are following one character who is becoming more and more obsessed with this creature. I'm gonna leave it there. Personally, I give this one 5 stars, and I would recommend it if you like the movie Trick or Treat. I feel like there are some things that are similar about the two of those. Moving on now, these are the rest of the books that are still on my TBR for October that I have not yet read. The first one is All Hallows by Christopher Golden, and I'm just going to be pulling up the synopsis for all of these on my phone so that I can read them to you guys. Like I said, we're going to learn together. It's Halloween night, 1984, in Coventry, Massachusetts, and 2 families are unraveling. Up and down the street, horrifying secrets are being revealed, and all the while, mixed in with the trick-or-treaters of all ages, 4 children who do not belong are walking door to door, merging with the kids of Parmenter Road. Children in vintage costumes with faded, eerie makeup. They seem terrified and beg the neighborhood kids to hide them away, to keep them safe from the Cunning Man. There's a small clearing in the woods now that was never there before, and a blackthorn tree that doesn't belong at all. These odd children claim the Cunning Man is coming for them, and they want the local kids to protect them. But with families falling apart and the neighborhood splintered by bitterness, who will save the children of Parmenter Road? That sounds really, really fascinating. It says, 80s nostalgia of Stranger Things. This horror drama from best-selling author follows neighborhood families and a mysterious lurking evil on one Halloween day. And that just sounds perfect. I can't wait to read this one. The next one is One Must Go by Alex Reed. This is available on Kindle Unlimited, so if you have a subscription, go ahead and pick this one up. This synopsis says, every year a new group is chosen. Every year there must be a sacrifice. A laughing, drunken god picks 3 middle school children for his deadly ritual. 2 may live as long as they pick one in their group to be given to the dead. Sam, an angry child who feels abandoned, along with his best friend Benjamin, who fears Sam more than anything else, meet Maggie, who is no stranger to death. Sam sees an opportunity in the horror to get back at those who have wronged him. He grows cruel and violent. Someone must be picked. Whether it is through bargaining, treachery, or bloodshed, one must go. This is relatively short as well, just over 200 pages, so that could be a fun, quick read for Halloween night if you wish. Next up, we have a short story collection. This one is also available on Kindle Unlimited. This is called Mr. Blowbones and Other Halloween Tales, and this is by Ronald Kelly. Halloween is more than a holiday, more than a fun time of candy and costumes for the young. It is inoculated into our very being at an early age, and there it remains. As we grow old, it grows dormant, but it is still there. For the lucky ones, such as us, it emerges every year like a reanimated corpse digging its way out of the graveyard earth to shamble across our souls. And we rejoice. Oh, if we are the fortunate ones, we must certainly rejoice. That's an interesting introduction. So that doesn't give too much of what the stories are, but it's kind of interesting. It's talking about outgrowing Halloween as you become an adult. And I'm very, very curious. I think that will just be really, really fun to read some short stories throughout the readathon, or just read some short stories leading up to Halloween. To throw it back a little bit, this one is more of a classic read. This one is also on Kindle Unlimited, and that is Dark Harvest by Norman Partridge. Okay, don't kill me because I'm just realizing this says it was published in 2006. I don't know why, I thought it was published in like the 80s, so I guess it's not that much of a throwback. Once again, another short one as well. This is 169 pages. The synopsis for this says, Halloween 1963. They call him the October Boy, or Ol' Hacksaw Face, or Sawtooth Jack. Whatever the name, everybody in the small Midwestern town knows who he is. How he rises from the cornfields every Halloween, a butcher knife in his hand, and makes his way toward town where gangs of teenage boys eagerly await their chance to confront the legendary nightmare. Both the hunter and the hunted, the October Boy is the prize in an annual rite of life and death. Pete McCormick knows that killing the October Boy is his one chance to escape a dead-end future in this one-horse town. He's willing to risk everything, including his life, to be a winner for once. But before the night is over, Pete will look into the sawtooth face of horror and discover the terrifying true secret of the October Boy. That sounds really, really interesting. Once again, this like small town kind of folklore vibes almost. That sounds really, really interesting, and I'm very curious about what the true secret of the October Boy is. So those are the ones that are on my personal TBR for October. Now we are getting into the list of other random Halloween books that I've seen here and there. I've just written all of them down, their titles and their authors. I haven't actually gone through to learn what they are about, so this will be really fun for both of us to see what these books are. So up first, I think we have a couple of cozy mysteries. The first one is Candy Corn Murder by Leslie Meyer. This says, Halloween is coming to Tinker's Cove, Maine, and local reporter Lucy Stone is covering the town's annual Giant Pumpkin Fest for the Penny Saver. There's the Pumpkin Boat Regatta, the Children's Halloween Party, the Pumpkin Weigh-In, even a contest where home-built catapults hurl pumpkins at an old Dodge. But not everything goes quite as planned. Lucy's getting very annoyed that her husband Bill and his friend Evan have been working seemingly non-stop on their potentially prize-winning pumpkin catapult. But when the day of the big contest arrives, Evan is nowhere to be found, ... until a catapulted pumpkin busts open the trunk of the Dodge. Amid the pumpkin gore is a very deceased Evan, bashed in the head and placed in the trunk by someone long before the contest started. Bill is on the hook for the Halloween homicide. He was the last one to see Evan. So Lucy knows she's got some serious sleuthing to do. So this sounds like it could be interesting. Once again, those like murder mystery vibes. And the main suspect is our detective's husband. So I feel like that could add an interesting amount of tension to the story. The next one is another kind of cozy mystery vibe, and this one is on Kindle Unlimited as well. This is A Halloween Homicide by Tanya Capes. Not sure how to pronounce that. Let's see what it's about. Violet Reinhammer, what a name, is busy trying to keep the Junctional Journal afloat, and that includes the participating in all the Halloween activities planned. One problem, Violet is not a fan of Halloween or anything that comes with it, including a haunted ghost walk. Town folks believe Violet has woken an angry spirit due to the nature of her snooping around into the past history of Holiday Junction. Darren Strickland, a lifelong resident, thinks Violet is letting her imagination run away. Violet begins to dig deeper when local law enforcement seems to be dragging their feet. After all, she's got a hot story to uncover, but really uncovers a buried secret along with some old skeletal bones that gives Violet the fright of her life. Interesting. This is number 2 in a book series, and it says if you love holidays, small towns, undying relationships, southern food, animals, and a smidgen of homicide, this cozy mystery series is for you. So I have never really read cozy mysteries. I've just never really been interested in them, but if this is something that is more along your speed, definitely go ahead and pick that up. This one, I believe, can fit into the cozy mystery category as well. It's Agatha Christie, and I'm pretty sure that's what Agatha Christie does. I might sound a bit uncultured right now. This is Halloween Party. A teenage murder witness is drowned in a tub of apples. At a Halloween party, Joyce, a hostile 13-year-old, boasts that she once witnessed a murder. When no one believes her, she storms off home, but within hours, her body is found, still in the house, drowned in an apple-bobbing tub. So, pretty standard murder mystery, takes place on Halloween, and I also love that it's an apple-bobbing tub that our person is drowned in. I think that's just a really, really fun element. Next up is another short story collection. This one, I believe, just came out. This is called Mischief Night Massacre, 10 Tales of Halloween by Jason Parent. The description says, Halloween. For the costumed child skipping along a safe, well-lit street, pillowcase chock full of candy, it's a night of magic and mischief, delightful frights met with sugar-toothed grins. But for the would-be revelers in these tales, Halloween is a horrifying ordeal, the likes of which many will not survive, and those who do make it to November may wish they hadn't. In this collection, Jason Parent gathers 10 tales that embody the holiday in ways surely to surprise and delight the most avid horror reader. From traditional settings like amusement parks, Halloween parties, and haunted houses, to more obscure locales where you might think terror couldn't possibly find you, each story will have you breathing a little faster, startling at every bump in the night. So this one sounds interesting. I just recently heard of it, but it sounds like something maybe I'll have to read next year for Halloween, so I'll definitely be keeping that in mind. Now we're going to throw it back with another more classic one. This is The Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury, a fast-moving, eerie tale set on Halloween night. 8 costume boys running to meet their friend Pipkin at the haunted house outside town encounter instead the huge and cadaverous Mr. Moundshroud. As Pipkin scrambles to join them, he is swept away by a dark something, and Moundshroud leads the boys on the tail of a kite through time and space to search the past for their friend and the meaning of Halloween. This is another short one at 145 pages. That sounds interesting. So it sounds like there's kind of going to be a blend of fantasy and some history and maybe a little bit of an emotional side to it with this friendship, like maybe a coming of age. So that sounds like fun. I'd just like to say that the camera just rudely cut off while I was recording. I just read the synopsis for 3 more books and looked up and it wasn't recording. So we're going to do that again. Our next one is Halloween Season by Lucy Snyder. This is another short story collection, and from the synopsis it sounds like it's going to be more of kind of just cozy seasonal vibes, not really a horror story. Halloween is the most wonderful part of the year for many of us. For dedicated fans, the season begins when the leaves start turning autumn colors and doesn't finish until Hallowtide ends in November. With it comes a whole lot of fun, scary movies and stories, haunted houses, seasonal sweets, spooky decorations, costume parties, and of course trick-or-treat. But Halloween is also a deeply spiritual time for some. It's an opportunity to remember and honor loved ones who have passed on. This is the perfect collection to celebrate the season of the dead or to summon those heady autumn vibes whenever you like. You may even find a couple of tales that evoke a certain winter holiday that keeps trying to crowd in on the fun. In the worlds within this book, every day is Halloween. This is 168 pages, so once again, relatively short, and like I said, it sounds more kind of just a cozy, seasonal, atmospheric read. Another short story collection we have, this one's on Kindle Unlimited as well. It's actually the same author, Ronald Kelly, of Mr. Glowbones, which is the collection I'll be reading this October. This one is called The Halloween Store and Other Tales of All Hallows Eve. When you first enter the Halloween store, things seem normal. Fun and frightful decorations, ghastly costumes, and masks of the season, and bags of candy galore. Then, as you travel further into its shadowy depths, things begin to change. The air smells of damp autumn leaves and candle-scorched pumpkin. The shelves of All Hallows Eve fare grow darker and more disturbing. Strange and unsettling things of Halloween's past and present lurk amid the cobwebs and dust. ... 7 horrific tales and 2 nostalgic essays, handpicked for your trick-or-treat bag. There is no telling what terrifying treats and petrifying prizes may await you. It sounds like another fun, relatively short story collection. This next one is on Kindle Unlimited as well. This is called The Witch of Halloween House by Jeff DeGordick. There's an old house up on a hill in the woods that the kids call Halloween House. They accused the mysterious old woman who lived there of being a witch until the rumors got out of hand and the panicked townspeople burned her house down with her in it one Halloween. She only said one thing before she died: "A curse on all of you." Now 3 years later, the spooky holiday approaches again, and Carmen is left in charge of taking her little brother trick-or-treating. But strange things begin happening around the small town. Children are going missing one by one, and the only clue to their disappearance is a gingerbread man left on their windowsill. Now Carmen has to protect her brother so that he doesn't become the next victim as the townspeople descend into insanity all around them. Riddled with fear, they have no one to pin the kidnappings and strange occurrences on, because the witch is already dead, ... Isn't she? So this sounds really, really fun and interesting. Once again, it's those small town vibes. With this dark history, which I think is really interesting, like the fact that they burned this house down with this woman inside of it, like how sad and horrific, and it sounds really fun, so you might catch this one on my TBR for next year. Look at me, planning in advance. This is another one on Kindle Unlimited, and I just heard of this one through Cliff's Dark Gems. He has this on his October TBR, so keep a lookout for his video. Maybe he'll tell you if it's worth reading or not. This is called Autumn Crow by Cameron Chaney. Welcome to Autumn Crow Valley, where every night is Halloween. Enjoy your stay, but first a few words of warning. Stay out of the forest, never venture out after dark, and don't stare too long into the shadows. You may not like what you see. Have a pleasant visit. We hope it won't be your last. That sounds really, really fun and interesting. I'll definitely be looking out for Cliff's review of that book. Next up is another book that's available on Kindle Unlimited, and this one has actually been on my TBR for a while, and I just recently saw somebody mention that it takes place on or around Halloween, so I think that's really fun. Let's go ahead and look at the synopsis together. This is The Haunted Forest Tour by James A. Moore and Jeff Strand. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Haunted Forest Tour. Sit back and enjoy a smooth ride in air-conditioned comfort as your heavily armored team takes you through nature's most astonishing creation. The forest is packed to capacity with dangerous and terrifying creatures of all shapes, sizes, and hunger levels. You'll get to observe these wonders in complete safety. Howl with a werewolf. Gaze into the glowing eyes of a giant spider. Look right through a spooky ghost. See horrific monsters you couldn't even imagine only inches away from you. Things with fangs, things with claws, things with dripping red jaws. You'll see them all. Not thrilling enough? Well, it's Halloween, so we're offering a very special tour through the haunted forest. The new route goes deeper into the woods than any civilians have ventured before, and you're guaranteed to get a good scare. Rest assured that every possible security precaution has been taken. The Haunted Forest Tour has a 100% safety record, and technical difficulties are unheard of. You will be in no danger whatsoever, we promise. And I think we can infer from that there will definitely be some danger in here. That sounds really fun. I remember hearing about this book, people saying that it's crazy and it's fun, and I just didn't realize that was the synopsis. So I think that would be a perfect Halloween read. Like, it's a Halloween tour through a haunted forest, but it's not just ghosts in this forest. There's also monsters and creatures and werewolves and things. That sounds really, really fun. So that is the list that I have compiled of different various Halloween books. I'm sure there's plenty more out there. Definitely leave your recommendations in the comments below for other people to see, and I hope to see you participating in the Ominous October Readathon. But even if you're not here for the readathon, I hope you got some good recommendations for books to pick up this Halloween season. With all of that being said, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys next time, and hopefully I will see you at the readathon.